Grand Rising. Today is Saturday, October 1st, 2022. 1442 on the ancient moon calendar and 1443 on the ancient sun calendar. Empire State of Morocco, United States for America, Moorish National Republic Federal Government, Societas Republicae e Americanos, Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World, Northwest Amexem, Northwest Africa, North America, the North Gate, and the adjoining Americana Islands, Temple of the Moon and Sun, the true and de jure natural peoples, heirs of the land, Islam, I self, law, and master. Empire State of Morocco, universal, sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine, affidavit of judicial proclamation. Notice to agent is notice to principal, notice to principal is notice to agent. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity. This is a sovereign living ancient Article 3 Moorish American Moroccan consular court action. We are the sovereign living justice in capitis diminutio nolo in red ink, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis. I am sovereign living justice Sharon and Peart Johnson. My free chosen sovereign living appellation is Shasha ande, and my sovereign living matrimonial appellation is Sharon and Martini. All are in capitis diminutio nolo, in red ink, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis. All Moors are the original indigenous sovereign ancient Moroccan Moorish American ascendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites and Canaanites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, for we are the people who are the original indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient empire state for Morocco, and the de jure Moorish National Republic Federal Government, Washington District for Columbia, the Universal Moorish American Consulate, and the Article 3 Moorish American Consular Court. We are peace, we are truth, we are one nation, one state, one empire, and one God. We hereby accept our sovereign ascension and exercise all sovereign rights at this time and at all points in time, nunc pro tunc. Upon my heirship, inherited nobility, and upon my private, original, indigenous, proper sovereign status and commercial presence, I, Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, being duly affirmed and aligned with consanguine unity, affirm my national, political, and spiritual allegiance to my Moabite Moorish nation, being the archaic originals, indigines of Amexem, the Americas, standing squarely affirmed upon my affirmation to the 5 points of light, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, do squarely affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and having knowledge and firmly established knowing upon the historical, lawful, and adjudicated fact contained herein, being competent in propria persona sui juris to attest to this affidavit, upon which I place my sovereign autograph. Whereas I state, proclaim, and declare the following to be true, correct, certain, complete, and not misleading, supreme, and not intended to be presented for any misrepresented, colored, or improper use or purpose to wit. That I, Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, am a noble of the ancient Moroccan Empire North America, in capitis diminutio nolo in red ink, in propria persona, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis, being Moorish American, an heir and ascendant of the ancient Moabites, Moors, by birthright, by freehold, by primogeniture, and by inheritance, being original and indigenous to the land Amexem, Americas, Gaia, Midgard, territorium hereditaments of my ancient Moabite Moorish foremothers and forefathers to wit. The Moroccan American continents are the lands of the Moors, being North America, South America, Central America, including the adjoining islands of Americana, Ameru, Maroc. I acknowledge, I claim, and I possess, by the said inheritance and primogeniture, the freehold status thereto, all unalienable and substantive rights to be, to enjoy, and to action distinct in my original traditions, customs, and culture, and determining my own political, social, and economic status of the Empire State of Morocco. My heart, my allegiance, my energy, my loyalty, my full faith, my credit, and my mind are with my ancient mothers and fathers, Moors, with cognate honor and divine and natural right, being Moorish Americans, the direct heirs and descendants of the ancient Moabites. We have and possess the divine and internationally recognized rights to our hereditaments and resources, and proclaim the right to determine our own social, economic, and political life and status of the ancient Empire State of Morocco, and in harmony with international law and with such rights of claim being absent of foreign unlawful threats, coercion, or acquiescence to a color of law, a color of office, nor to subject myself to any occupying foreign persons, to any imposed frauds, United States Corporation Company nom de guerre, or color of authority. All Moroccan Moors, Moorish Americans, Moors have proclaimed and possess the unalienable rights, substantive rights, and birthright inheritance to our ancient pedigree, traditions, and customs, and the right of claim to our Al-Moroccan attributes, appellations, and nationality, substantiated by and supported by nature's laws, by divine law, by primogeniture, and by the recognized laws of the nations of the earth international, being the true, ancient, original, indigenes, and heirs of the land of America, the North Gate, being the geographical heartland, Maghreb al-Aqsa, of the ancient Al-Moroccan Empire State. Moors are de jure and rightful freeholders by birthright, by inheritance, and by primogeniture status, and have by those inherited rights ascendable claims. Notice to all comers that we, the heirs of the land, possess the secured rights to travel upon the land of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, upon the public highways, upon the byways, and upon the highways of our continental United States, which is the organic land, and absent of the genocidal, fraud-based extortion tributes and human trafficking pretended by foreign colored inquisitionists or by the United States Corporation Company, excise taxation constructs hypothecated by the racketeering, anti-constitutional, foreign United States Corporation Company state legislators, constructed under color and styled to abridge and to steal substantive rights belonging to the natural peoples. These substantive rights are supported by and affirmed by royal law, Moorish law, Muslim law, and Muslim law. The law of the great peace, the laws of nature, divine law, nature's God, the laws of nations, the free Moorish great seal, zodiac constitution, stare decisis, res judicata, and bindingly affirmed by Articles 3, 4, and 6 of the American Constitution Covenant of 1774, 1781, 1789, 1791 AD, and Treaty 1200 1M C as lawfully adopted for the United States of Republic, establishing her republican form of government. The said American Constitution established the people's supreme law of the land, standing upon the principles of moral government, to secure the rights of the people and to keep limited government operatives bound and in check by official oath and by official bond. Let it be known that down from the ancient ones, we the primogenitors, came the allodial isonomy principles which established the supreme law of the land. Egypt, Hegupta, is the capital empire of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt their foremothers and forefathers, to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the Moroccan Empire. This includes Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, Mauritania, and the Americas, with their Canaanite, Moabite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan, seeking new dominions. Our dominion and inhabitation extends beyond northeast and southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, even into the present North America, South America, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, Americana, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. The Great Seal Pyramid is the national emblem and insignia of the Moorish nation, Empire of North America. Geographical location. The Great Pyramid, equilateral, is also the archaic symbol for civilization on the planet Earth. The Honorable Moors' acknowledgement of our Great Seal indicates those heirs who own up to, who support, and who proclaim our free national government. Moors who are active and not passive in the social, civilization, culture, and custom matters involving law, order, and governmental principles are hereby entreated to support this affirmation. Moors, Al-Moroccans, who strive toward this ancient beginning, with honor are entrusted by noble Driali and all ancients to help in the great humanitarian work of uplifting ourselves, our fellow man, and humanity at large. We, the conscious heirs, are cognizant of the civilization works, instructions, and progressive acts necessary to teach, to preserve, and to defend the nationality and birthrights of all Moorish Americans, Al-Moroccans, Moors. The noble Moors, Al-Moroccan heirs, are the natural sovereigns of the ancient Al-Moroccan Empire, North America, the North Gate, and are by civic and social duty free to recognize and to support our Great Seal, sovereign de jure Moorish National Republic federal government, and consanguine nation of the natural people. In our relations with others, we command the enforcement of our Al-Moroccan Constitution. Thus, such organized communications and orders are referred to as the Empire State of Morocco. Contained within our great state is the Great Seal, National Association of Moorish Affairs. The free Moorish nation, inclusive of all the original indigenous tribes and provinces of the natural people, etc., are the rightful bearers of the attributes, appellations, and noble titles Ali, El, Bey, Dey, and Al. The free Al-Moroccan Moors are, by freehold inheritance, retain all substantive rights and immunities, enjoy the exercising of all substantive rights, and operate under consummated right law. Economy principles, having pre-existing vested constitution and treaty secured rights and immunities from foreign United States corporation company taxation and from foreign criminal and civil jurisdiction by and of the colonial United States Rights Republic, U.S.A. private corporation, and United States corporation company persons, pursuant to, but not limited to, divine right, the United States Republic Supreme Court, international law, and the acts of state to wit. Every sovereign state, for and by the people, is bound to respect the independence of every other sovereign state, and by the people, for and by the people, and the courts of one country, people, will not sit in judgment on the acts of the government of another. done within the same or her own territory. The past Union States municipal codes and civil laws and codes previously appearing to be imposed upon the land were a private code, incorporated unit of self-government, established by the political powers of the General Assembly of each state of the Union, limited and bound by Article 4, and initiated at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, North America, in the year 1854. It governs only the black people, Christians, and Jews of the fraudulent 1863 Union States Republic under the Magna Carta, the Great Charter, the Knights of Columbus Code, and the Ku Klux Klan Oath. Forever, the said Union States Rights Republic denies citizenship in the United States, U.S.A., to the heir descendants of the Moorish nation in the Western Hemisphere, who have been erroneously referred to, branded as, and mislabeled as Negroes, blacks, coloreds, and Africans, Americans, Latinos, etc. In addition, the Supreme Court of the United States, in the landmark case of Dred Scott versus Sanford, 60 U.S. 19 Howard 393, 1857, held that Negroes, whether held to slavery or free, were not included and were not intended to be included in the category of citizen subjects of the Union State Republic. Resultantly, the true indigene nobles of the Moroccan Empire, free Moors, bearers of the attributes, appellations, noble titles, Ali, El, Bey, Dey, and Al, are excluded from the Union States Republic, U.S.A. jurisdiction. The true nobles of the Moroccan Empire are sovereign, private, and self-governed by right, law, principles, and customs, and only obligated to the free Moorish zodiac constitution, Circle 7, archaically established by our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Such extended allegiance and obligation includes the Great Seal and the high principles and moral standards embodied in the Moorish national flag standards of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The true Moroccan noble indigents of the land maintain a constitutional and lawful, not obligatory tax status and position relative to all foreign entity taxation, indigents not taxed, and maintain a non-obligatory respect for the Union States Republic, Union States Rights Republic, U.S.A. Its members, its laws, its ordinances, its codes, its customs, and its traditions, pursuant to the Moorish American Zodiac Constitution, Articles 4 and 6, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States and Morocco, 1787, superseded by the Treaty of 1836. Resolution 75, Journals of the House of Representatives, adopted for the United States, April 17, 1933 AD, Moorish American Nation of Philadelphia, and the use of their appellations. Reaffirmations have been made via the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child, General Assembly Resolution 1386, 14 UN, GAOR, G-A-O-R, SUP, number 16 at 19, United Nations Document A4354, 1959, the United Nations Universal Declarations on Human Rights, Article 15, General Assembly Resolution 217A3 of 10 December 1948 AD, Executive Order 13107, United States Republic, North America, the implementation of human rights treaties, the National Constitution for the Continental United States, Article 3, Section 2, Amendment 5, Liberty Clause, Amendment 9, Reservation of the Rights of the People, the United States Department of Justice, Moorish Credentials, Free Moorish Zodiac Constitution, Truth A1, Classified, the United States Copyright Certificate Number, AA222141, Clock of Destiny, the Moorish Nationality and Identification Card, Moorish Science Temple and Moorish Holy Temple of Science Identification Card, etc. Furthermore, I affirm and assert my full birthrights, sovereignty and substantive rights, and my right of claim to all hereditaments, being a sundry, free Moroccan Moor, and a natural being distinguished from all and any spurious constructs created by the foreigners or by their agencies pursuant to Moabite Moorish pedigree, the free Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Great Seal of the Moorish Nation, ab antiquo, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, 1787, 1836, the Sundry Free Moors Act of 1790, the 1781 Organic United States Constitution, the Moorish Federal Financiers Act, Union States Army, 1861 and 1863, the 1854 Roman Catholic Magna Carta, the Knights of Columbus Code, the Ku Klux Klan Oath, the United Nations Charter, Article 55C, the Rights of Indigenous People, Part 1, Articles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Part 2, Article 6, the United States Supreme Court Acts of State, the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, 28 U.S.C. 1601, etc., the Convention on International Road Traffic, Day 19, September 1949, the World Court Decision, The Hague, Netherlands, Day 21 January 1958 AD, which is 1378 on the Moorish calendar, in reference to the rights of the natural peoples and of their substantive rights, etc. The following are pertinent and established Supreme Court decisions, stare decisis and res judicata, to wit: the right to travel and the right to mode of conveyance, the right to locomotion are all absolute rights, and the police cannot make void these exercise of rights. State versus Armstead, 60S, 778, 779, and 781. The use of the highways for the purpose of travel, transportation, and teleportation is not a mere privilege, but a common and fundamental right of which the public and natural beings cannot be deprived. Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago, 337, Illinois 200, 169, Northeast 22, ALR, Ligare versus Chicago, 139, Illinois 4628, HE 934, Boone versus Clark, 214, Southwest 607, 25, AM, Juror, First, Highways, Section 163. The right to park or travel is part of the liberty of which the natural being, citizen, cannot be deprived without due process of law. Under the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, Kent versus Dulles, 357 U.S. 116, 125. The right of a citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport one's property thereon, either by carriage or automobile, is not a mere privilege which a city may prohibit or permit at will, but a common right which he or she has under the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thompson versus Smith, 154 SE 579. State police power extends only to immediate threats to public safety, health, welfare, etc. Michigan versus Duke, 266 U.S., 476, led at 449, which driving and speeding are not. California versus Farley, CED, RPT, 8920 CA 3rd, 1032, 1971. The state is prohibited from violating substantive rights. Owens versus City, 445 U.S. 662, 1980. And it cannot do by one power, e.g., police power, that which is, for example, prohibited expressly to any other such power. Taxation, eminent domain. As a matter of law, U.S. and UT versus Daniels, 22p 159. Nor indirectly that which is prohibited to it directly. Fairbanks versus U.S. 181 U.S. 283 294 300. Traveling by automobile on the public roads was not a threat to the public safety or health and constituted no hazard to the public, and such a traveler owed no other duty to the public, e.g., the state. He, she, and his or her auto having equal rights to and on the roadways, highways, as horses and wagons, etc. This same right is still substantive rule in that speeding, running stop signs, traveling without license plates or registration are not threats to the public safety and thus are not arrestable offenses. Christie versus Elliott, 216I, 131, 74HE, 1035, IRA NS, 1905 to 1910. California versus Farley, 98 CED RPT, 8920 CA 3D, 1032, 1971. Under the United States Republic constitutional system of government, and upon the individuality and intelligence of the sovereign, the state does not claim to control one's conduct to others, leaving one the sole judge as to all that affects oneself. Mugler versus Kansas, 1213, U.S. 623, 659, 660. Where rights secured by the Constitution are involved, there can be no rule making or legislation which would abrogate them. Miranda versus Arizona, 384 U.S. 436, 125. The claim and exercise of constitutional rights cannot be converted into a crime. Miller versus Kansas, 230 F. 2nd, 486, 489. For a crime to exist, there must be an injured party, corpus delicti. There can be no sanction or penalty imposed on one because of this constitutional right. Shearer versus Cullen, 481 F. 945. If any tribunal, court, finds absence of proof of jurisdiction over a being and subject matter, the case must be dismissed. Louisville versus Motley, 2111 U.S. 149, 29S, CT 42. The accuser bears the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Lack of federal jurisdiction cannot be waived or overcome by agreement of parties. Griffin versus Matthews, 310 F. Supra 341, 342, 1969. And want of jurisdiction may not be cured by consent of parties. Industrial Addition Association versus CIR 323 U.S. 310, 313. Whereas, in light of the foregoing, jurisprudence, stare decisis, and res judicata, affirmed and declared by the Supreme Court decisions, by facts and by law, and counter to the negative and colorable social and political conditions instituted by corporate state persons of the United States society, there exists a blatant want of jurisdiction on the part of the Union States Rights Republic, U.S.A., and by its agents, personnel, contractors, and assigns. Maxims and axioms are lawfully, legally enforced under national and international law attending to these issues. And this affiant natural being, in propria persona sui juris, does not abandon any of my estate rights, does not waive any substantive rights, does not transfer power of attorney to any foreigner, and does not consent to any public trial or ministerial hearing in any colorable tribunal venue or involvement with any non-Article 3 unconstitutional jurisdiction. The official oaths and bonds, the obligations and the fiduciary duties of all accusers and proof-bound claimants to national constitution and treaty law and order. The civilization principles fixed in constitution law still stands. Definition and truth still rules. Non-compliance is a federal law violation and international law offense and trespass. Whereas there is no question that a bench appearance, summons, a detention, an arrest, and a ticket or citation issued by a police officer or by others against the people for traveling with no driver's license, foreign driver's license, not having a current registration or mandatory insurance, etc., which carries a fine or jail time, is a penalty or sanction, and is indeed converting a right into a crime, thus violating substantive rights. It is reasonable to assume that these Supreme Court judicial decisions are straight and to the point, that there is no lawful method for government to put restrictions or limitations on rights belonging to the people. That the organic United States Republic Constitution, derived from ancient Moabite Al-Moroccan Moorish law, remains the supreme law of the land, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States government and under its flag of peace, pursuant to United States Code Title 4, Chapter 1, any law or colorable processes which are repugnant to the Constitution or treaty shall remain forever colorable and are null and void. Marbury v. Madison, 5 U.S. 137, 174, 176, 1803. No municipal officer, person, personnel, employee, or contractor shall attempt to violate nor abridge the rights of the natural people or citizens, and all are subject to court action and penalty in their personal and subject capacity to wit. Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 13, Subsection 241 of United States Code of Law. No person shall conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his having exercised these same, or no person shall go in disguise on the highway or on the premises of another with the intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured. Said attempt shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both. No act's violation of the law shall be attempted. Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 13, Subsection 242 of United States Code of Law. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, will willfully subject any being in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on account of such person being an alien, or by reason of his color or race, that are prescribed for these citizens, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year, or both. And if bodily injury results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. Therefore, in preservation of the rights of indigenous peoples and the preservation of the rights of the people, in accord and defense of the Constitution for the United States at North America and her government being the supreme law of the land, and primal to the contractual liabilities, affirmations, bond obligations, and fiduciary duties of the officers of the courts, federal, state, city, and municipal, etc. I hereby activate and command the enforcement of the de jure laws of the United States and all treaties made under the authority of the United States, in accord with Article 6 of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, the rights of indigenous peoples, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations Charter, Article 555C, the United States Supreme Court Act of State, the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act 28 U.S.C. 1601, etc., the Convention on International Road Traffic Day, 19 September 1949, the World Court Decisions, The Hague, Netherlands, Day, January 21, 1958 AD, 1378 Moorish calendar, and Executive Order 13107, United States Republic, North America. The implementation of human rights treaties, the National Constitution for the Continental United States, Article 3, Section 2, Amendment versus Liberty Clause, Amendment 9, etc. I hereby command and state a dismissal of any and all unconstitutional sanctions, claims, or other warrants or charges made or issued which are devoid of true identity, personages. Let me go back. I hereby command and state a dismissal of any and all unconstitutional sanctions, claims, or other warrants or charges made or issued which are devoid of true identity, personages, no denial of due process, of a trial by jury, of my own national peers, or absent of a verified and lawful indictment, sanctioned by an assembled grand jury, shall occur nunc pro tunc. And I hereby avail all lawful, constitutional, secured safeguards established by the supreme law, with documented proper jurisdiction and venue affirmed and in place by my own hand in my own Article 3 Al-Moroccan Empire State of Morocco Court. Wherefore, all parties of interest are authorized by this writ, pursuant to national and international law, to honor all substantive rights and constitutional immunities exercised for and to all original, indigenous, free, and sovereign Al-Moroccan Moors. All officials are to enlist all available and appropriate measures to ensure and assure that all substantive rights and constitutionally secured rights and immunities are honored. The sovereign natural beings appellationed shall not be arrested nor held for any reason nor circumstances. All are hereby notified that we are the active ministers of the original indigenous de jure sovereign empire state of Morocco and the de jure Moorish National Republic federal government at all territories of the organic land. The natural being who has autographed hereon and all Moors are non-obligatory and not taxed, where customs, tariffs, taxation, owner in fee, permit, deception, construct, and from any other hindrance, encumbrance, or restriction of freedoms, allodial properties, compensations, rights of travel, or freedom of movement on the land. Explicit exercising at all times of the sovereign rights for me and all Moors, and use of all rights exercised without prejudice. UCC 1, 207-1308, UCC 1-103 is noted to all federal, state, city, and municipal peace officers in harmony with Empire State of Morocco laws, is the reservation of all sovereign rights. No contracts nor agreements shall be entered into knowingly, voluntarily, willingly, nor unintentionally, without full disclosure for all parties. Furthermore, all presumed United States Corporation Company contracts are hereby terminated with the United States Corporation Company person and all agents, principals, heirs, assigns, and any derivatives thereof. Consider any formally assumed constructs alleged to be related to me as being misrepresentations and thusly cured forthwith. Let it be known. Represent or represent means to depict, to portray, to symbolize, and to stand for. Let it be known that the Union States Society, Bar Association, lawyers, esquires, and attorneys of European colonial descent and foreign corporation cannot depict, portray, or symbolize a free Moor, as they are not of the same nation, jurisdiction, customs, or national peers, and cannot sit in judgment of any free Moor. Act of State. Corporations are not indigenous to the land. Moors are original. Union States Society, Bar Association, lawyers, esquires, and attorneys of European colonial descent and foreign corporations operate in demo political format, which is contrary to Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States. Moors are the sovereign law and the sovereign government, being in harmony with the Constitution. Moors govern, respect, and align with the Constitution principles. The unconstitutional tribunals operating under the Union States Society conflicts with and is repugnant to due process under Constitution principles, and functions in colorable, fraudulent actions. Therefore, no equitable, just trial or remedy is available to the natural peoples of the land through such colorable processes. These violating acts constitute a conflict of interest, a conflict of law, a conflict of identity, and of nationality and international law, and clearly do not lawfully address the federal questions of diversity of citizenship, while establishing that the only proper, original, sovereign jurisdiction is the universal, original, indigenous, ancient, natural, divine, Article 3 Consular Court. Thus, a clear and documented averment of jurisdiction, quo warranto, is also hereby proclaimed, commanded, and advanced to all parties of interest. Only we Moors can present ourselves, for we are sovereign Moors, Al-Moroccans, and original indigents of the land. Thus, only Moors can present self. I, Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, being a real estate, living, flesh and blood, ancient, breath-giving, divine, and natural, being birth sanguineous of a natural thinking, sovereign, living, ancient, divine mother, do solemnly, sincerely, and squarely affirm that the ancient laws contained in this constructive and actual judicial notice and proclamation, by affirmed affidavit, are truth and law. This law is constructed by sovereign intention, from my knowledge, interjoined to my culture, customs, inner knowing, inner standing, and ancient beliefs, being actual, factual, and restorative in nature to my ancient traditions and customs, presented our truth, the holy truth, and all that is truth, as with our ancient traditions and customs, I affirm to all. Hibu, love; haq, truth; salam, peace; hurriyatam, freedom; adu, justice. All rights exercised at all times and at all points in time. UCC 1207-308 U.C.C.1103. I am Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, natural being in propria persona sui juris, and sui heredis in solo proprio, original, indigenous, free, sovereign, more, natural being of the land, in propria persona, not pro se, nor colorable, Moors, Moors, the original and indigenous natural peoples, and true heirs and inheritors of the land since time immemorial, and into perpetuity, and in honor. I am the divine natural being, Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, in capitis diminutio nolo, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis, and I do hereby affirm that I am an ascended heir, natural divine being, herein appellationed, standing, living, existing in propria persona, being the primal law of evidence, as required, and defined by law, affirmed by lawful standing right, by birthright, and respectfully acknowledged, being of descendable and ascendable age and competence, and being lawfully qualified and competent to execute this document of affidavit. I therefore place my hand, my autograph, and my seal hereto. Wherefore I, Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, in capitis diminutio nolo, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis, being part and parcel, named herein, and by birthright, primogeniture, and inheritance, make a lawful command of affidavit and public notification of nationality, proclamation, appellation, notification, command, declaration, affirmation, and application, herewith published for the public record. All sovereign, original, indigenous, ancient, divine, Moorish American autographs affirming this and all sovereign, original, indigenous, ancient empire state of Morocco, and the de jure Moorish National Republic federal government documents are on the public record at America, ancient Morocco, Northwest American, Northwest Africa, the North Gate, Turtle Island, Gaia, Midgard, Earth. Chronos, time immemorial, into perpetuity. Ego sum, Justice, Vizier, Minister. Sharon Ann Peart Johnson, in capitis diminutio nolo, in red ink, in proprio persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredis. This sovereign living, Moroccan, Moorish American, Article 3, Court Action, is now adjourned. Ashe. Malembe Yezo.